Hello, hello. Thank you for sticking around, everybody. The second map between Heroic and ENCE is about to go live, so we're going to jump into Train real quick. Scrawny and Wolfie to bring you guys through it. And this could be our last map, Wolfie. So let's treat it like it is, man. Let's give it the due diligence of what should be a very one-sided ENCE map. Okay, if history repeats itself, that's what we come to expect here in this matchup. Will we go to Mirage? That's the bigger question. That depends on what ENCE have to offer. A flat T side on Nuke could transition into a flat T side on Train, but they've got the 5v4 to start.
Yeah, perfect beginning, exactly what they needed, and they're going to look to pile this pressure on. Tesses stuck towards the E-box, so many targets. Flashes keep him blind. Sergey on 8 HP gets his second frag of the round, and now 5 on 3. This is feeling increasingly improbable. Stown to try and get something done on the angle. Flashes keep him alive for a little while longer, but there is so much pressure. There is so much presence as that bomb looks to get dialed in. And that's just an easy frag. Sunny, he wasn't even expected to be that aggressive. Just one tap to the skull. 5 on 2. This round is done as Nico is going to go down. Sunny's second. And that's the start. That's exactly what ENCE needed to give them a little bit of momentum, just to get the blood flowing again. Because I feel like after that ending on Nuke, they're going to need something to wake them up.
Yeah, they kind of look like walking corpses. They were looking a little gray in the face by the end of that Nuke game. And again, just to try and contextualize this one, last time these teams faced off, 4 days ago, 21 frags at the end of Train for Alu. Excuse me, I've already misspoke. For Ariel, Sergey, and Sunny. 21 kills each. All of them over a 1.3 rating. So it was really that trio of success for ENCE on that Train map. And even there, they started on the T side as well, racking up 8 T rounds in the first 15. So 1 of 8 already added to the board. We saw Heroic kind of cool off based on their great first half showing in their own map choice. So what will we get? It's time to find out. But we know these second round force buys can do damage. In fact, it was so damaging on Nuke that we never saw another round after ENCE lost that second conversion. So let's see if it happens again. Hopefully for ENCE, it will not.
Definitely feels a little harder on Train. There's a lot more long-range angles. There's a lot more complicated fights to take. And Cadian, he's going to take some damage opening up. Nade follows through. He goes down to half. It's an awkward force buy as well, because you see a lot of times on CT second rounds on Train now, they're picking up double scouts, and they're trying to play around that principle of, okay, the scouts tag them, and then the 3 deagles, they find the conversions, they bag the bodies, and they make it work. This time, it's just Cadian on that scout, and as a result, you can see the CT side taking risks, looking to push into A main, but Alu, he might want to contest this as well. He's looking for it. He's waiting for this smoke to fade on and off. There we go. On and off angle is the exact phrase. And this could get interesting very quickly. If Alu goes down, if they lose that main control, life gets complicated. Stown is there to bait him into the peak, but he's not falling for the trap. He's holding back, sitting inside the smoke, hoping for a line-up as he will be forced to bail out, at least for now. 40 seconds left, and they've not actually got a lot of map control, ENCE.
I want to take a second just to say that that was the first time you have fumbled your words in 4 maps of casting with you, Wolfie. So I wanted to take just a quick second to say, dude, that you have surprisingly impressed me more than I had high expectations already. So I'm praising you instead of ENCE, despite them nearly trying to close this one. It's the upset by Heroic. But what takes precedent in my mind, dude, is a little thank you to you for stepping in last second, joining me today on today's broadcast, and then doing an incredibly good job. So for anybody who is as happily impressed with Wolfie as I am, please take a second to go to his Twitter, give him a follow, appreciate what this man has to offer, because it's nice to know the pools of casting talent in Counter-Strike go real deep. But I'm not going to give you a chance to appreciate that, Wolfie, because I overspoke the force buy from Heroic, so you go ahead and try to make sense of that.
Yeah, it's not a great look for ENCE at this point. Sergey able to trade 1 for 1, will recover himself a rifle though, and potentially that can give them some legs. Sunny challenging in towards main, piling the pressure onto Bora over on this E-box, and yeah, that was an awkward second round for ENCE. They should have had it by all accounts, but they really fluffed their lines. I think, again, it came down to that clock. We've seen it be the problem for T-sides on ENCE on Nuke, and it was again on Train. When you run the clock that low against pistols, they're going to be up in your face, and if you make any mistake, they will punish you. That's exactly what we saw. And now 5-on-4 with a lot of damage done onto 3 of the 4 remaining players. It's really going to be on Alu to make the early impact and look at the rotations. This is such a nice read from Heroic, as they're already looking to bolster their numbers on B.
Smoke down the ramp. X7 looking for the headshots. Ooh, but that incendiary from Cadian, they can't actually afford to run through it. Because they're all tagged up, they have to respect the fire and fury of Cadian. He goes for the peek off of the flash. Excellently timed there from Stown, who with the scout drops Sergey off the top rope. Cadian gets the 3K and even survives there with 4 HP. So this is Heroic doing exactly what they did on Nuke, denying the bomb plants and the follow-up force buys, leaving ENCE strapped for cash as they're relegated back down to the Glocks.
That's what we expected. That's how force buys should look. Heroic, they were just dominant across every aspect of it. They got lots of opening damage. They got themselves an opening 1-to-1 trade, and then they converted well off the back of it. They made the most of all the tags. Nice spray down from Cadian. Perfectly timed flashbang. It's Heroic playing as a team. It's something we've almost come to expect of this roster, as now the full 5-man B rush comes through, and into the jaws of the MP9 they head. The flashbang will do nothing. Cadian and Nico combining 4 for Cadian, just the 1 from Nico, just to bolster him up a little bit, as Cadian, well, look at that. The MP9 farming itself some cash, 8,850 now, as ENCE will finally have themselves the AKs.
Yeah, just racking up the cash for Cadian. That's going to be really good for him. And this, I wonder if they just, like, with so much money left over, do you really want to run another bonus round? MP9 and a scout. Like, think about it. Look at the extra cash here. Borup, Stown, Nico, and Cadian. That's 4 players who could buy an op. But they decide to keep the lesser weapons. We'll see if that comes back to bite them. Ariel opens it up through T-Con, dropping Tesses out of the round. One of the 3 rifles, Sunny, gets Nico. So now, 2 of your 3 survivors are actually on lesser weaponry. Both of your survivors are on lesser weaponry. But Cadian's still able to take to the top of the train, player right beneath him. And Stown, well, he's swapped out to that AK. So maybe it won't come back to be a bother, but Sunny's doing his damnedest to try and give chase here. Stown, he's gonna flash through his own smoke, trying to find the timing. Alu on the top of Blue Train, he goes down. That's the bomb up in the open, and he doesn't know where Sunny got off to, so he's just gonna creep right away and just crawl back to that B site.
That's a huge frag. The high HP player gone. Sunny, here's the footsteps though, and now it becomes a game of timing. Stown in towards Connector. Sunny going to go round and clear his way through the back lanes, through spawn, and potentially look for the backstab off the back of this. It's a risky play because the bomb should have been spotted. When that frag came onto Alu, Stown should know that he's got the bomb. He knows where Sunny has got to go, and he's holding his angles. This is going to be all on the timing. Sunny on 28 HP, spots him out, lines him up, and takes him down. ENCE with 2 HP, the difference, will get their second round on the board. And that really comes down to the MP9 and the Scout. As you said, if those weapons were upgraded, I think they probably win that round.
Yeah, there's a possibility. Luckily, it's not like we saw, like, heads-up damage. You know, it's not like the scout got pressured in the 1v1. He switched out to the AK. He was lucky that that AK was nearby, or else I don't think Stown makes anything of the situation. Although, let's just be real, yeah? Them not buying that op last round allows them to come into this with the double sniper setup. So, was there shortcomings? Sure. Did they still make it incredibly close? Absolutely. If they win this round with what that money had afforded them, now all of a sudden it gets real damning for ENCE because they had a single survivor win that round. They've got 1 round of loss bonus currently on them, and a second won't be enough to refill the bank accounts if they make nothing more of this round. A bomb plant could be huge here for ENCE. Let's see if they can find one 4v5. Both Alu and X7 on Galils.
Looking to stack their way into the drop, apply the pressure to the new boy. Tesses on the M4, not able to make it happen. The double drop works, the refrag is found, and they can get onto a bomb site now, ENCE. That's where the double AWP setup starts to really struggle. Alu with another frag onto Borup is piling the pressure on, and AWPs don't work well in retakes, so Stown is going to look to nearly level the playing field, but he can't quite land the shot, and that could be that. The bomb making its rotation on towards B in the meanwhile, and Nico well, he's got a huge job to do here. Stown takes down the flank. Sunny takes an early peek, and that drops the bomb at the feet of the CT side. 3-on-2. Now, they don't expect the second player upper. Do they expect the backstab? Cadian with a beautiful headshot makes it 3-on-1.
Yeah, that's a crucial kill for Cadian. Bomb drop downwards as well. X7, 0 kills so far this map. 20 seconds to bring it back. He sees Cadian, finishes that frag. Now Stown up close with the second off. This is just damage. Even if he can't win the round, this is damage. But there's a chance at the full-fledged 1v3 clutch. Nico, 28 health. He needs the kill. There's no time to plant. 3 seconds. And Nico, he dodges him around the train lane just in the nick of time. X7 still dies, but a hell of an attempt in the 1v3.
And he's got rid of both of those orbs. As you said, you look at that cash, it is not good. Yes, X7 died after time. Yes, he's only got $650, but there's not going to be a double orb this round. Not going to be able to bring it out heroic at 4-2 up, and it's not necessarily going to be punished as much as it possibly could be, because it is only going to be those deagles. It's only going to be the upgraded pistols, but it's keeping heroic honest, and that's the important thing. You can't let CT economy spiral out of control, as now, well, Tesses is going to look for a little bit of a farm of his own. A full A main take coming through from ENCE, and it looks like they're just going to barrel straight out onto A.
Looks pretty simple, huh? Cadian just got to land some shots, and he will for the first two. There's a player up above him, shooting him in the face with a Glock. Stown gives a little bit of cover here. They want to recover some money. They want to keep that cash. They want to keep their guns. So far, just one kill, and that is it. Cadian, he gets his third, 12-3. Cranking up the heat here on the CT side of Train. And if Cadian wants to be the difference maker, if Cadian wants to be the reason that Heroic can win this map pick over ENCE despite them losing last time, then I could see that being a factor. Because when we go back to their last showing, it was actually Cadian at the bottom of the scoreboard for Heroic. He was 10-18, 0.56 rating, and just really 0 op impact for Heroic. That could not be further from what this situation is. Ops have reigned supreme for Heroic, Cadian most notably. 5 versus 5, rebuy for ENCE, everything on the line here for the T's economy. Tesses, oh! He throws the flash, blinds them both, they're stuck upon one another, and he just mows them down with the MP9. The only thing that ENCE have left is this Ivy 3-man hit.
I was questioning the MP9. Again, I was finding myself thinking, okay, what's he going to get done with this? You know, he's been put under pressure, dropped multiple times. They found him out several occasions, even with M4s. But that's something a little bit special. A perfectly timed pop flash, 2 sprays from above. He recovers himself an AK-47 as well. And now, 5-on-3, the perfect start to this round. Alu going to take the Molotov damage as he goes down to 30. ENCE really in need of a miracle at this point. They're trying to group up, potentially try and reapply this pressure onto Tesses that worked out so well for him in the previous instance. But with 45 seconds left, what can they really hope to achieve here? Bomb's going to try and make its way out B, but already the rotations have come through. It's Stown and Nico to hold it down as the push starts to come in.
A super difficult position for... Hey, get that AK. Where's X7? There we go. He's coming over. He's going to pick up that third weapon. And then, well, there's no time to do anything at all. So the third AK is too tantalizing a save to risk it for the biscuit. ENCE going to have to give that 6th round to Heroic. And they are on par at the moment to have an excellent CT side. Going to have a huge overhead win with this one. Get ready. In 4 seconds, we'll watch all of those bank accounts just get injected with a fresh stimulus check. Ooh, money, money, money. So much cash. 4 players over 5,000. Nico even breaching the 6K point.
They've certainly built themselves a little bit of a fallback position, haven't they? And ENCE, this is a completely different T-sided half to them. They're not looking pretty at all. They've got 3 AKs saved, of course, and X7 and Sergey are actually going to invest behind them. It's going to be the Deagle and the MAC-10. I think ENCE are aware that they need an impact and they need it now, right? They'll be aware of what they achieved last time these two teams met on Train and how that gave them the opportunity to go to Mirage and do some damage. Now, they're going to go fast. It's going to be Olaf control from Sergey early on that MAC-10. The spray connecting good damage, though. He goes down to 50. The double drop traded 1-for-1 as they rotate. Tess is out. And actually, it's Borup who goes down. The trade good, at least for now. And 3 players still here for the CT side, but look at that timing. Sergey on the MAC-10 gets one. Traded out. Firepower, though, starting to make its way back towards T's side favor as ENCE are fully committed to A.
Yeah, they're all out. They've got a Deagle on top of the trains. That's X7 with the bomb, so he has to actually now come through E-Box, and Alu's going to attempt to give him cover here. Ooh, Tess says he's taking to the top of the ladder. That's going to give him a line of sight, but he can't quite stop the bomb plant. X7, if his head comes up, he's dead. There it is. Tess, bit of a labored spray. Cadian, he flanks around E-Box. He gets Alu because the player in the ladder room's not watching that flank. He was watching the bigger flank from B. And Ariel, he has everything to do. They're going to creep as close as they can. Nico basically on him, looking for the trade frag. It's incredibly low health. Ariel still fighting down to the wire. But Nico gets away with 69 HP, and the defuse has time to come through. 7 rounds for Heroic. But what a wildly close 3v3.
That was quite something, and I think it's fortunate for Heroic that the previous round was so successful for them, right? The previous round, they keep 5 alive. That gives them the cash to go down to the wire in this one. Go down to the 1v1, and if there had just been a couple licks more damage, that Molotov may well have done it. Instead, it's a 7th on the board, and frighteningly for the ENCE fans in the chat, it's the double AWP setup again coming out for Heroic. Alu will be on his favorite big green gun this time, though, and that's going to be the duel to watch, because at the moment, Cadian is absolutely rocking the server.
For sure. Hopefully he can keep that up for Heroic's favor. Here comes Sunny, though. Quick entry down the ladder, and it's Ariel to drop the head of Stown. Now, a second kill coming in at the top of the T side, and that is beautiful for ENCE. Very rapid engagement going down on A, and kind of similar situation to what we had last round, just far faster and far more successful down that ladder room. You know, we saw Tessa's one-time underhand the flash and double MP9 spray, but these back-to-back victories for ENCE have come by way of ladder control. So cool for them to get a third here. And Heroic, they're just going to try to save at least one op. There is that second op close to Nico. If he wants to take the risk and try to find time for it, maybe X7 can cut him down. Maybe Alu will have the cover here. But regardless of who gets away with what or where, it is going to be that third round for ENCE. So a T side that's not done yet. We are 2/3 of the way through it, and they could definitely do more damage.
Yeah, this was a much-needed round, and ENCE, they've managed to pull it out. They've managed to keep 4 players alive. Good overhead. The problem being, Nico and Cadian have managed to scavenge away those 2 AWPs. They've managed to keep them up, so if they can find a slightly sturdier response into this one, life could get difficult. And I think the key at the moment is rotating Tesses out of drop, right? We've seen him exploited there multiple times. That allowed them the fast play, and Staven really put out in no man's land. Did a good job of finding the first frag, but there was just too many targets and too little time. So now with the double AWPs out again, I think that's the play. Rotate the player in drop, potentially even give it up to ENCE and then go for a later retake. And it is actually going to be Borup who looks to take the fight, gets the first and the second. Make it 3. There you go. That's the call. That's the play. And 5-on-2 for Alu and X7. Well, this is not looking good.
Hot diggity damn. Borup, he solves that ladder issue with the 3-player mowdown, and then we get a kill apiece on each of those ops. So I think that tells us, you know, that round is kind of, it's indicating 2 crucial components for the CT side. 1, ladder control first and foremost. I tried to paint that as the picture for ENCE's success, and there you have an example of what happens when they don't get it. And not even close, just total shutdown. Good job by Borup, from 5 frags to 8 in a matter of mere seconds. And then the second factor, that double op setup that was afforded to them because they went for that last second save, got their paws on it, each of those operas with a frag apiece. So moving forward, let's keep our eyes on those 2 things again. Ladder control, will they keep trying? Or do they think Heroic are going to fight harder for it, seeing as that's how ENCE have gotten a couple rounds? And then secondly, can the economy sustain this double op setup if ENCE keep getting kills?
Damage early from Tesses, but he's going to be put under pressure again. He's been having a rough old time in towards that ladder, and again, he's going to be dropped. This time, it's Sergey to find that early opening as ENCE do get the control. Damage done nonetheless, But ENCE are going to go fast off of it. The Orps making the rotation, and they've really got it all to do here. So many targets. Cadian with the first, missing the second. That's going to allow them ever closer to this bomb site, and up close and personal. Stavin actually bails his primary Orper out as Cadian comes back for more. And how are they making this work? Bomb dropped in the middle of nowhere. Stavin with another. Sergey will get the double spray down though. 2v1. We're not done yet.
Oh my goodness. Sergey, he just stops those two operas. They were like a battalion of cannons on that A site. You just heard all of these blasts, these booms rattling off as ENCE slowly dropped one after another. But then Sergey lines up the two snipers, pushes it on to Borup and Nico. Oh my goodness. And he may have just seen that last player. He has 22 health to close this ace. Nico, he gets the engagement in his favor, finds the right angle to hold, and Sergey walks into it. But what an awesome attempt there from the young star of ENCE. Lines up the snipers, blasts them back after Cadian and Stown. They had a field day. Cadian just comes out of Z. He's Molotoving E-Box. He's got a molly down over on ladder room as well. So he actually pushes forward, takes a player off T-Con, and then falls back into the bomb site. Like, Cadian ran a huge risk in the way that he was hunting those kills. But he didn't want ENCE to get a foothold on the bomb site. He didn't want them to be able to push down the train lanes. And his proactive play, his aggression, his risk-taking is exactly what enabled them to just shut that down. No bomb plant whatsoever. And if it wasn't for Sergey, they wouldn't have even had a chance. There would have been 3 to 4 survivors still for Heroic, and this CT side would be way too much to try and topple. But because of the damage he's done, there's still a chance that ENCE can break through with 1 or 2 more rounds. They've got a bye, and they're grouped outside of B.
Plenty of presence and plenty of pressure. Only 2 players here as well for the CT side of Heroic. Tesses to join Nico as the fast ramp rush comes through. Good nade, does a lot of damage, and now it's just about the conversions. Aerial punishes the 1-for-1, and the spray down again traded out, but it's still that man advantage. An M4 and an AK stand between Heroic and double digits, and they've got tags onto both of these players. This has to be crisp. It has to be perfect. There can be no more mistakes. Sunny looking to push on. Oil is going to get punished. The double nade stack works perfectly, and it leaves Aerial 28 HP in the 1v3. Make it none. Down with a wallbang headshot. He has been so crisp on that aim all series long. Heroic will have their double digits, and this is a very different train from what we saw from ENCE previously.
Big time, man. No consecutive round wins for ENCE at all. Their second win for Heroic by way of defuse. Most of the time coming down to the clock or just eliminations. So Heroic, they have been convincing in the CT side. And it's a rough spot for ENCE to be in. Again, they come off of that flat T side on Nuke. Train. Looking better in the sense that they've had more openings. On Nuke, it really was a shutdown from Heroic. Now it's them just getting through with close rounds, but we're not going to look back on this game as if it was close. Even if at the moment we see the openings ENCE are trying to work with, we've seen the chances they've definitely had on an individual level. It's just such a lopsided score that, especially if Heroic can get that second pistol, this one will be over before it ever really even starts. X7, he's pressuring Ivy. And he's done a good job of kind of getting Stown to second guess some angles, but there's also damage going in at the top of ladder. Look at that. Aerial and X7 down to sub 50.
This is going to cause some issues as Stown gets the first pick onto X7. B has been given up in the meanwhile, but a beautifully timed nade will tag 2 and frag 1. 5-on-3 and ENCE, no, they've got to get aggressive. They need frags and they need them now. Sunny will get 1. Molotov will trade it into the 3-on-2. That's a beautiful shot. Alu is not done with this game yet. Cadian finally removes the head. And it's Sergey 1v2. The bomb drops, but I don't think Heroic are going to want to contest it. Tesses is on the backstab. And look at this. Cadian knows. He's going to fall back. He's going to start to play his way in towards T-spawn because he knows that Tesses is there. He's got control. He just has to wait. And this is all on the timings now for the AK. Tesses should have the drop on him, should have this frag. Sergey lines him up, but he can't quite find it. Tesses takes it on 22 HP, an 11th round, and look at that. He's just got himself the second order.
Crazy. That was dangerously close for Tesses. The moment he sees Sergey finally is as he's falling off of the spool. So he actually had to wait for his accuracy to reset, and a little bit of a labored spray there from both of those two players. But Tesses comes out on top. Heroic have come out on top of this CT side, no matter how you want to look at it, no matter what you want to sing the praise of ENCE for. They've had moments, but they do not have rounds. 11-4 best case scenario. Tesses shuts down the bottom of the ladder room immediately. Now, he was struggling earlier in terms of holding within it, but holding outside of it has seemed to work out well. They go down into the B bomb site, trying to use ramp to their advantage. Nico, one and done. Borup lays down the smoke so that they can easily exit. Nobody's going to off these guys until they get to this position. That first train lane cross. Sunny locks it down for the first fight, and then Stown, with the op, is able to bring this one back. He has a single point of health, and there's a late lurk from Alu. He's flanking through Z right now. 2 snipers right in front of him. He is the last man up in a 1 versus 3. Now that he's confirmed his position, it's just going to be the bomb site stick. Tesses, insult to injury as they take their 12th round. Alu, he had a chance, but his teammate needed to survive. 12-3, Wolfie. It doesn't get more damning than that.
He needed an extra 5 seconds. That's all he needed, Alu. He needed 5 more seconds with his teammate alive on the bomb site to get that opening pick, and then he can play in the backs of their minds. Instead, it's the straight stick. There's nothing he can do to contest it. Despite 2 incredible frags, it doesn't line up, and this is worrying for ENCE, right? They went 8 on their T side in the previous. They got 8 on their CT. They are going to need a perfect start here. They're going to need a pistol round, not to lose to the force by thereafter, and I'd argue not even to let bomb plants start coming in, because if they do, Heroic are 4 rounds short of taking this 2-0, and they are looking on fine form.
Pretty exciting stuff. Listen, we could keep talking about what we just saw, but I'd actually like to just get some water really quick, so I'll be right back.
You gotta love the Summit broadcast, ladies and gents, as Scrawny is gonna go and help himself, grab himself a drink, because this has been an interesting set of games. We've had to get nice and loud and hyped up about them as well, so always good to get some hydration in you. And for Heroic, well, they've been looking absolutely fantastic. I have no doubt they are incredibly well hydrated, because they are playing some lights out CS at the moment.
Yeah, see, I'm treating it in the case, you know, maybe Heroic win this game 16-3 and I could have waited. But in the world that ENCE bring this one back, I just wanted to be well prepared, bro.
Yeah,
so
yeah, of course, man.
Here we have it, everybody. A second chance at the beginning of the second half for ENCE. But, man, this is scary. They've won, what? At least 2 of the 3 pistol rounds. And each time they win a pistol, Heroic win the round right after. So, scary situation for ENCE. But you know, Diamonds, they're made under pressure. And that's exactly where ENCE are right now.
Yeah, well, let's see if they can make it all the way through, or if they're going to get crushed under the weight of it. Because at the moment, they've got to be looking up at that score and thinking, oh man, what went so wrong? This was our map. This was the one we took 16-8. We looked so good on the T side, and we've just been shut out of absolutely everything. Yep. 3 isolated rounds. And if this pistol goes south, it is a long way home. Heroic, just the 1 Molotov onto Nico, so not expecting too much of a set play here, and potentially just looking to get up in the faces of ENCE, which I don't mind at all, given the situation, given the round advantage. Take the fight straight to them, and that's the play. 4 players making their way in towards the brown halls, pushing through to take that map control off of Sergey, who might reaggress right into these crosshairs. There are so many players there, but he actually misses the shot, and now they're going to funnel out. First headshot, second. Sergey, go on. He's got nearly a third. Nico on 12 HP. Thanking his lucky stars, he even managed to get out of there. The refrag will come through, though. 2 in quick succession to make it 3-on-2, but again, that flank is so far away, and Cadian, he's only got 22 HP.
Oh, Sunny, he's going to hear Stown right behind him. Sunny, he gets caught on the ramp. Stown, 1 versus 3 situation. Bomb down in front of him. Alu taps it once. There's no kit for the CTs. That's a 10-second defuse. If Stown had some sort of a Molotov, he'd be in a prime position. But every time that bomb taps, he's going to have to wait a couple seconds, confirm if he's on it, and X7 gives cover to the doorway. So there you have it. ENCE, they go ahead and win the 3rd pistol of the 4 we've seen today in this series. can they convert? Because there's a reason for us to doubt this. There's a reason to believe that Heroic on the force buys will be strong. So Stown AK immediately, and thanks to that bomb plant, this will actually be a decent purchase. They're going to drop the AKs for the armored players. This will give them probably 3 guns. Oh man, this is actually super strong. Other than Nico, who I feel is probably the best Deagle player on Heroic. So that's not too bad of a downgrade. This is nearly a full-fledged buy.
This is what I was
barring
scared
utility.
Of. This is what frightened me the most, is that with that bomb plant, there's AKs on 3. There's a scout for Cadian who has looked, let's face it, pretty phenomenal on the scoped weapons so far. And
yeah,
on the CT side, they've been forced to invest heavily because they know it, right? They know they've got no more room for error. They know that the rifles have come out. Normally in this round, you'd see 2, maybe 3 SFGs to get the extra utility, but this time it's 4 rifles. Aerial is the only player to pick himself up a UMP, and that's going to mean that very early on, ENCE are running out of utility to do anything about this. The only real shining light in this is that Heroic haven't got much either. 1 smoke, 1 flashbang to plan this execute, and it looks like it's going to be towards A.
Yeah, looking likely here. Still hanging on to the 5v5. It's actually Nico with the bomb as well, so that really does kind of alleviates the pressure of him needing to get a kill. He has a different objective here in this one. Tesses, Stown, Borup. Those are the AK players. We've got one of them over in T-Con and Borup, and then that scout, of course, on Cadian went for the first peek, but that didn't work. Instantaneous headshot from X7. He's got himself 3 frags on the Ivy hold. Sure, Borup, he's going to peel that attention back towards T-Con, but this is a heads-up 2v5. Nico, oh, he found timing. But Sergey, he gets his kill in fast enough, and Sunny shuts it down. Excellent 3-piece from X7, and think about the fact that that round right there accounts for half of his kills on train.
Talk about turning up when you have to. A huge round from him to just shut down the Ivy control. I was scared. I saw Cadian swinging it on the scout. That looked dangerous, but he times it. He lines him up, and he takes him down. And now, Heroic, well, they're going to be conceding a 6th. Just a Deagle, a couple of P250s, and 2 flashbangs to try and get as much damage as physically possible here. The more the better. The more rifles you can take away, the more you can keep that CT economy honest, the more likely you are to be able to string something together on the T side. But it's the perfect start so far. Good nade comes through. Aerial and X7 start to clean things up. And the AK-47 of Sunny is doing yet more work. Cadian is desperate to get at least 1 frag in this round, but Sunny, well, he's cleaning up house. Cadian finally gets himself 1, but that's it.
Sergey just has Cadian fly up the ladder on him. Oh my goodness. Wild antics, but obviously Heroic, they can just laugh off those rounds because it's the buyback they've been waiting for. Will it feature an op? Cadian? No. All right, so he's going to take a little half buy so that he can definitely come in with a sniper in the next one, or whenever they get back into their buys. Cadian will tend to be that person who goes for solo purchases as well, so if the rest of the team has to save next round, expect Cadian to still try and get enough to work with, but they've already got that full stack of round loss bonus. So the economy is helping Heroic try to break through what is a strong CT start. The game just favors them at the moment, kind of lending them a helping hand, as if they needed it after a 12-3 start.
Exactly. That's an awkward fight for Tesses to lose as well. Finally refragged. X7 going to find one onto Stab and actually takes out the high HP player instead of Borup, and that is huge. Cadian, he desperately wants that AK, but he's going to be pressured for it. Alu almost catching the timing on the shoulder peek, and he will do. He'll take him down. That's the bomb with him. 4 on 2, and Heroic, well, they're stuttering on the T side so far. Plenty more to come, and Borup will find at least 1 early frag to potentially give Nico a little bit of room to maneuver. Still a 3 on 2, and with Borup on 11 HP, this is on Nico, and he's got to come down the drop straight into the crosshairs of Sunny. This round is done. It's going to be a 7th on the board, and for Heroic, this is where perhaps those nerves start to creep in. They're a roster where they're not necessarily as experienced as some of the others. They're definitely not as experienced as ENCE, and potentially this is where the nerves start to have their impact.
Yeah, it could be. They've definitely been in these situations before. I feel like Heroic's actually one of those teams that's like their experience almost kind of sneaks up on you. You know, Cadian's been around for a long time. Nico's been around for a few years on land play and whatnot, in kind of like the top of Denmark. Stown and Borup, yeah, sure. Okay, lesser experience. coming in from like Tricked and then the time with Fragsters for Stown specifically. Tesses made his name for Copenhagen Flames. So I guess it's kind of in that order, you know, Borup, Stown, Tesses in the follow-up 3. But they're getting there. And I think that's why they should be picking up wins like this. You know, they have very real upset potential. And I would argue this is the upset, for sure. I mean, yeah, there's an asterisk in the sense that Yumpy's not here. And that's kind of like, that's meant to be full force ENCE right now. That was the ENCE that kind of re-emerged, you know, throughout the last little while when we've kind of been watching ENCE devolve into a shadow of what they once were. Yumpy immediately improved their form and results. But again, he can't play because CS Summit is a Valve-sponsored event. In case there is anybody out there still asking.
Yeah, heroic.
Maybe he...
I think you're exactly right. Yeah, I'll keep going. Don't worry. I think you're exactly right. I was making that point, and I was like, actually, they are pretty experienced. They've done their time right in those lower level rosters, and I think it really shows. As now they're going to go for the execute. Now the Deagles will look to make their mark, and it's going to be the ranged fight that is the issue. X7, he's done so much work with this org, and he's looking for more. Ooh. 2 frags. A third as Aerial comes in with the UMP, and this, well, it's falling apart. Alu with the 4th onto Stown. Leaves just Cadian to try and get some kind of damage, but there's too many crosshairs. Everybody is looking his way, and Alu will finish the job. 12-8, and Heroic, well, they're yet to post around on the T side. They will be able to buy this time, though, and potentially Cadian on that AWP with 20 frags to his name could be that light, that spark that they need to get started.
Starting to get a little nervous for Heroic, huh? I mean, yeah, excellent CT side, phenomenal, superb. I mean, you've got to use the best of adjectives to describe that 12-3. But so far, so good. ENCE 5 in a row. And some of these have just been total shutdowns. You know, we haven't had a bomb plant since the pistol. We've had 4 or 5 survivors in 3 of the 5 rounds here for ENCE's CT side. So, we're going to keep going, but Aerial, that is bold. He decides to just climb up the ladder. I didn't even see a flashbang to try and block Borup. That was bold, and that's being polite. So, let's see if this one comes back to bite them, because a 4 versus 5 for ENCE is not the position that they'd hope to be in.
That was a huge risk on the UMP, and he's been punished for it as well. He's been taken down early. And as you said, 4-on-5, CT side on train, it's not an ideal position. It's not an easy conversion, but look at this read. 3 players for the CT side, now over on B, and more aggression planned as well. Sergey, he wants this peek. It's straight into the crosshair, though. Borup takes him out, and that's going to funnel them in. Another is Sunny taken down on the spray. The damage is there, but the frags just aren't. Finally, Alu with 1, and X7, potentially a lifeline, takes out that flank. 3-on-2. There's a lot of damage done, and there's a very real opportunity. Alu knows there's an aggressive player here. He's going to clear this corner, and Nico, there's nothing he can do. He goes down 2-on-2 now, and Cadian, well, he's got it all to do on the ult.
Yeah, he does have that Molotov for the post plant, but he drops a shot, and that kind of challenges the Opper. You know, Alu, he's going to look to focus forward on him. Meanwhile, X7, he's getting closer to the B site. Down goes Borup. It is all on Cadian. CTs, no smoke to put out the fire. Oh, I'm wrong. There is a smoke. That's perfect. That right there wins the round. X7 staying alive, and Alu going huge with the op on the back of the B site. I mean, X7, he was late lurking over towards Ivy, making sure that nobody for Heroic could compromise that backline, and the moment he gets that lurker kill, he sprints to B, because at the same time, Alu was all alone and being pressured. He had that T up close behind the Z train, and just a wonderful retake for ENCE. Sure, Heroic are going to come back in with a bye, but that was a 5 versus 4. I want to even say 5v3. For Heroic, once they got that kill on Sergey in the box halls. So, ENCE, keep this going. Keep on going. Give us that flawless CT side out of nowhere. Maybe. Just maybe. But Tess says, oh, he's got other ideas. He late lurks out Ivy, and he gets himself a couple kills.
Alu and Aerial able to find the response before Tesses in with another. 3 frags so far in the round for him, and Sergey, he's really got it all to do here. His teammate not anywhere to be found. He's stuck in Ivy. He actually finds 1 before the trade, but it's a 2-on-1. And it is on to Sergey. In towards Old Bombs. Stown has got so many angles to cover that he goes down. There's no way. He has no idea. And it's on to Cadian again, this time with just 28 HP and that AWP. No bomb plant. And this nade, that could be everything. It misses its shot, though, and it's giving Cadian a lifeline.
But it's also giving him information. That's a little bit of info to try and piece this puzzle together. Where did he throw that from? Why would he throw that? Where did he go after he threw that? Cadian still doesn't have the bomb, so that's going to start forcing his feet. Sergey, ooh, he goes for the peek, and it's perfect timing. An excellent 1 versus 2 from Sergey. Dude, the individuals for ENCE are keeping this game alive. Back-to-back rounds where ENCE are on the back foot, and this is slowly getting tied up. They are only trailing by 2, and it's not like Heroic are sitting on 14 where 1 round would make the difference. They have not been able to break through the CT side even once. So what would make us believe this is immediately just going to get turned into a spree of T victories? There's no evidence that would show us that. Sure, they're getting close. They're getting their openings, but they're running out of time. They're running out of chances, and Sunny, he's going to get aggressive. He looks to take the initiative. Instead, he goes down. This is very similar to the round we saw somebody go flying up that ladder room in aerial with the ump. So an offered kill here. Yes, it could have shut down Heroic early, but all it's doing is putting more pressure on the rest of the players here for ENCE. However, we know they can survive this. They've done it in back-to-back rounds.
We've seen them in these 4-on-5s. They've made it work time and time again, and now it's about that read. It's about your IGL calling the bomb site to hold on to, and it's A. It's perfect. ENCE, they've got 3 players on this A bomb site, and Heroic are setting up to walk right into them. There may even be some main aggression as Aerial is going to push right in. He is getting so much information for his team now. He's set up perfectly for Alu to fall off his angle. Aerial swings, and the frags start to come through. Here's the push. It's a question of how many. Alu with 1, Aerial with a quick double on the spray down, and Cadian, he's in no man's land. He's already taken the dink. Somehow, he hits that shot. That's a lifeline. 2-on-2 for the backstab. But there's the nade. Alu takes out Cadian, and it's on to Stown. We've been so impressed with him today, but it's 2-on-1, and Alu, he's got the read, he's got the frag. ENCE within 1, and we have got a game.
This is sick. This is awesome. 8 rounds in a row coming out of ENCE. No sign of life for Heroic. Well, no, that's harsh, to be fair. They'll call their first timeout now, but the signs of life are just not beating as quickly as ENCE are in these mid-round moments. I mean, that setup for Aerial tucked inside of T-Con, the fact that Alu hits that first shot immediately, draws them into the crosshair. They tried to jump across haphazardly, and that made Aerial's multi-kill all the easier. Alu gets the fadeaway grenade after Cadian gets this ridiculous off wallbang. You know how good Cadian felt in that moment, only to be blown to pieces just seconds later? That's a crushing round for ENCE to pick up. And now they should absolutely be tying this game at 12 rounds apiece. Heroic, they've got 2. Oh my god, they're going to force.
No.
Okay, we're getting desperate. AKs, Tech 9s, and a Deagle. At least there's a ton of utility, but there's no op to counter that of Alu. And the thing is that Cadian, he was the difference maker in the first half. He is capable with the rifles. They're going to get aggressive. Just straight up flashing into the A site. Down, immediate headshot into Sunny. Another round where ENCE are down a man. Can they do it again? It would have to be the 3v5. Aerial's answer into Tesses slows down that Ivy play ever so slightly. Nico tapping with the Tech 9 into the flashed Aerial. There it is. There's Heroic's breakthrough. It doesn't come by way of timid save. It comes by way of bold buys. They force the issue. They force the fights. They stampede into the A site, and they take a 13th round.
Finally, they show some signs of life, but it's not going to get any easier. They've given ENCE so much economy that this buy is full. They've emptied the bank regardless. All those rounds where it's come down to 1 or 2 players are finally starting to pay off if Heroic can take this. If they take their 14th, the economy breaks. The CT side fumbles, and there's a chance, but it's going to be Sergey. Aggressive early 1-for-1 trade as Borup on the M4A1 will at least keep his team in it, but Heroic have needed so many frags to make it happen. They've needed a consistent man advantage. Now it's a question if they can do it. Can they make it happen? Stown playing with fire, and he's getting burnt. X7 through the smoke will find the tracers, and will take his man down. It's a disadvantage for Heroic, 4-on-3, and they've needed every man they can get to get into a bomb site.
Every single one of these rounds has been difficult for ENCE. And they haven't made it any easier with some of the aggression to start, but I like that they're not shying away from it. Sure, they're playing with the risk of dying early, but this time, you know, it is at least Sergey to take one with him. We've seen empty-handed attempts that just offer a 5v4, so a 4v4 must feel real good at this point. And ENCE, they're going to continue to remain proactive here. Sunny, he's going to go sniffing around on Ivy. And if he sees this is completely clear, that it absolutely justifies the 2 players on B. Because that's what would make sense. They've got one in ladder as well, here in the form of Aerial. And that could call him back into the A site if needed, which is exactly what he might have to do here, because we've got 2 Ts crossing out from T-Con. Aerial, he's just trying to deal with what is the ladder control, but he gets burned into the open, calls out Cadian's position. There's Sunny on the flank, and that's the bomb carrier dropped. 18 seconds. They've got to run this one back. Flashbangs inside of T-Con, and Borup goes down. This is all Tessez 1v3, 1v2 with bomb, but there's just no time to get this in. He's got to have to save that op. He needs to equip Cadian in the next round, and it's a one and done. We have not seen, despite 25 rounds of Counter-Strike on Train, more than 1 round in a row for either T side.
That was the round. That was the one they had to win. The economy was broken for ENCE. If they lost that round, then Heroic could start to string it together. They could start to make it happen. Instead, it's 13-12. The gap is still just 1 round. And Heroic, well, they'll have the bye. Their loss bonus will sustain it, and they'll take the pause as well. They'll try and work out what on earth they're going to do, because that CT cash still isn't there. They're still on no loss bonus at all. They will be on a first-round loss bonus if Heroic can take it. The problem is, Heroic haven't looked like taking T-sided rounds. They've had 1. They caught several players off guard. They found lots of good picks, and they exploded onto A from there. That isn't replicable. They need to find a consistent way to start putting rounds on the board.
What's with the T-sides today, man? Right? This whole series has been CT-sided. Crazy days.
It's undescribable. It's absolutely mental. Heroic, they looked solid last time, and now they look like a completely different team. Both CT sides have looked so dominant, and this is the opportunity. This is the one. This is the time for Heroic to show up and say, okay, we've been really slow, but we can still fight here. And a double peek in. Oh no. Aerial with 2 quick spray downs before anybody can even realize what's happening. And again, Heroic have not been able to convert 5-on-4s, let alone 5-on-3s. This needs a hero, and it really needs it now.
Yeah, I think Aerial is genuinely one of the best M4A1S players in the world. He just makes it look so damn easy. Even in those high-pressure moments, he's got 2 players in front of him. He just keeps shooting. I guess that's one of the advantages of the A1S. You know, you can go for those continuous spray downs and still kind of keep that next level of accuracy. He's got very good headshot percentage. But let's see what happens in a 3v5. What's the play here, Heroic? They're going to have to take the risk, going to have to chance it, at least for some sort of an opening here. They've got a bit of bonus cash and 4 rounds of loss. Aerial boosts it up inside of Z. It would take not just 1, but 2 quick entries, and Stown could deliver. He's got a chance with X7. He follows up. All headshots from Stown, but then that Ivy play. It's Sunny to trade it back, and Alu, he is right on the corner there, right on the cusp of a follow-up peek fake plant. No move. Borup, he takes to the top of the train now. Another fake. Alu's getting closer. Alu's getting closer. He's in the open. And now all of a sudden, it's back down to the 2v2, but nobody's watching T-Con. They need to hold in Ivy. They decide to go for the force. Cadian, he gets the kill, but Sunny takes the trade. It's just 4 frags, lightning fast, and it gives ENCE the tie at 13 rounds apiece.
The clock piling the pressure on, and that one small mistake. Nobody covering T-Con, 1 player lying in wait. The bomb goes down, and the round is done. 13 all, and ENCE, they have dragged this one back round by round. Only 1 T-sided round for Heroic so far. And quite frankly, they haven't looked like putting them on the board as they take their 3rd timeout of this second map. they've got to be feeling nervous. They've got to be feeling under pressure because ENCE, they've looked fantastic. They are still going to have to make sacrifices, though. It's an MP9 for Sunny because that CT cash, it's just not there.
Sunny as well, man. You got to give props to that play. He flanks Ivy all the way back around T-Con. And such a squeezed situation on the bomb site itself. You could see what they were trying to do. Cadian wanted to give cover to the bomb plant. They were very aware that T-Con was the threat, and that's why he wasn't allowed to plant on ladder side. Obviously, with like 6 seconds, he's running around with his gun out. Not ideal to deal with the guy inside of Z. And it doesn't work. There are 3 SMGs in play here, as clearly the economy plays against both teams. We are in the nitty-gritty. Heroic have chances. Sergey, he's got frags. 2 of them already. Sure, the dink's against him. Oh, but there's Tesses trading it back. A long-range MP9 fight for Sunny. He just chips it down, who now decides to maybe go back for this. But the CT's flooding into the B site. Tesses Mac 10 will not best that of Aerial. And Cadian, well, he's got to double back. If they go right now on the A site, they could pinch the solo hold in Sunny, and it's a retake for ENCE, but they don't seem to be playing fast enough. And you can see these CTs going to solve the issue of a backline by rotating through their spawn.
They've got all the information they need, and it's an aggressive play as well. Sunny has gone all the way up to Olaf. That's a missed smoke for Cadian, and it's just more and more pressure. Stound is clearing the bomb site, but he's been flanked behind. He's got to worry about old bomb. He's got to worry about back lanes. He's got to worry about main. They are absolutely everywhere with 35 seconds left on the clock. The CTs have got every possible angle covered as the bomb will make its way. It will transfer onto the site, but look at the pushes. Old bomb. There's X7, and he's got the drop on both of them. Stab him with the first, and potentially a lifeline as X7 is playing the smoke. The timing so close, but he finds the frag. Cadian now 1v3 on that AWP. He's in need of the perfect round. He's sneaking around the brown train, scoped in to not give away his position, but Aerial has got him. A crisp shot to the head. It will be ENCE who finally take the lead. We haven't said that in a very long time, but their CT side is looking utterly dominant.
Yeah, wild. Wild CT side. A 12-3 first half for Heroic, and we've got ENCE 2 away from victory. There was a very real chance when X7 was coming around that smoke on Old Bomb. And we've got to say, like Heroic, they learned their mistake from the previous round in that they were so ready for Sunny to emerge from T-Con. He gets called out and killed. That would have left them with something to play with, but X7's frag off of the side of that smoke pushed it all onto Cadian. Some of these rounds have come down to the wire. Early damage. Borup, he is wounded, and he has to run. 16 health. Still no sniper for Heroic to try and get an opening pick. Nature of the constant buys.
It's put them in such an awkward spot, and they really don't seem to have any kind of clue how to get this site, how to get even vaguely near it. There's been one thing that worked, and that was an all-out rush. They caught everybody off guard. The Tech-9's got a couple of nice picks, and it went from there, and now they haven't even looked to retry that, right? They haven't gone fast into a bomb site in a long while. They haven't looked to pincer A aggressively. Slow Ivy control. This time looks like it may work out. X7 on the other side of a smoke has got a lot of pressure coming his way, but he's been able to handle it thus far. The Molotov will force him into the firefight, but there's 3 players there. He gets 2 before the trade, and that man advantage again goes the way of ENCE. 4 on 3, and Alu is trained on these back lanes like a hawk.
Borup, he's going to walk through this smoke, and Sunny, he's got his head in 2 directions, but he gets into the cover perfectly. Aerial blinded with the next frag. This is ENCE taking 15 most certainly. Borup, he's got 16 HP to work with in a 1 versus 4 where they're not going to give him anything, and he doesn't even have the bomb. Alu will take a bit of a gamble on the chance, but the follow-up shot is there, and ENCE have done it. They secure OT at the least in the most ridiculous comeback fashion. This is insanity. I mean, Heroic, what do you even do? You've tried everything. Final pause being called here. Let's take a moment to not only appreciate the turnaround for ENCE on this CT side, but most specifically, X7. He had 3 kills on T side, if I'm not mistaken. 3 freaking kills. And now he's right up there with them, almost catching up to the rest of his team at 14. And he's had crucial moments as well. That last round, the lineup on Ivy, perfect timing with 2 players who had nades out. 2 players had nades out. He takes both their heads off. As well as that 2vx situation for Heroic when Cadian was planting and he creeps around old bomb smoke. Just perfect timing here. And again, a great M4A1S player that you've also got to kind of tip your hat to. So ENCE, they got 2 of them in X7 and Aerial. These silent assassins have brought back this map. 2 map points here for ENCE to close. Overtime's still a possibility, but there's no reason to believe this would happen. Unless it's Heroic with just some kind of bold, brazen push. Maybe they overwhelm Sergey, but he is having none of it. 3 frags for him. Aerial's already got Borup. Ladies and gentlemen, we are absolutely going to Mirage. I cannot believe I'm saying that out loud. 12 rounds of a CT side, and it still wasn't enough for Heroic.
ENCE have just looked like a completely different team. Cadian will find 1, but that's it. 4 players kept alive. 16-13, the final scoreline. Heroic only able to muster 1 T-sided round. Just let that sink in. ENCE completely shut them out of map number 2, and we're going to need Mirage to split these 2 teams apart.
Yeah, phenomenal. Just a phenomenal second half. Just awesome. It's not every day you get those kinds of comebacks. You know, as a caster, you always have to paint the picture because you don't want people to think the game is done. But you never truly believe it. Even with that first spree of like 8 rounds in a row, I'm thinking to myself, okay, yeah, pistol, 2 conversions, gun round, op, moment. But no, just total shutdown. Fucking cool, man. That doesn't happen every day, so I'm all for it. But we've got Mirage up next, ladies and gentlemen. So we had Mirage last time in this series. The outcome was very lopsided to the favor of Heroic, but that's going to rely on them being able to mentally bounce back from not being able to close that map. When they failed to win this series last time, or excuse me, no, it was in the winners match that Heroic had. Cadian, he tweeted out talking about tilt. He put out the definition of tilt was his response to losing. And I think that is as relevant as ever going into this third one. So let's all take a moment for a deep breath, recompose, and bring it back for Mirage. We'll see you guys there in just a moment.